kinds of ways you can drink water. From the tap, a cup, a bottle. But what if I told you you can drink water from a frog?
These are water-holding frogs from Central Australia. As the name suggests, they have the ability to store large amounts of water in their bodies.
So, Tanya, these frogs are a living, breathing, hopping water storage facility.
They are. We find quite a number of these frogs in the very dry parts of Australia, and they can drink a lot of water when the rains come, and they can then survive for many months, even up to years.
So around about how many different types of water-holding frogs are there?
There are so many. And you know, one of the really interesting things in Australia is that there's always new species being found, so it's constantly changing.
When these frogs burrow into the ground, they form a cocoon around themselves made up of their own loose skin. Inside this cocoon, the frog keeps completely still and slows its metabolism to prevent moisture loss.
Some Aboriginal groups view this frog as a very important source of water. In the outback, the temperatures can soar well above 40 degrees and water can become almost impossible to find.
It's interesting with a lot of the stories. Some of them are to do with finding food, how to live. And in the desert, you've really got to know how you're going to survive. So if you're on a long walk, you don't have any water, then what you look for is the dry creek beds. You dig the dry creek beds and you will dig one of these frogs up. You can then take its little covering off and you can drink the water that's held inside its body and you will be able to survive.
These frogs meant much more to the Aboriginal people than a clever way of finding water. They are the inspiration for an Aboriginal Dreamtime character known as Tiddalik.
Well, Tiddalik is one of the Aboriginal Dreamtime stories, and the story goes that Tiddalik was a huge frog, and one morning he woke up and he was so thirsty that he had a big drink and he just kept drinking and drinking and drinking. He drank all the water in the land. The other animals then started to die of thirst, so they got together and had a bit of a meeting to see what can we do with Tiddalik. Now, Old Man Wombat, he was always the smart one, and his idea was, okay, we've got to make him laugh. So Kookaburra said, okay, that's fine. I'm very good at telling jokes. So Kookaburra told lots of jokes, but no, not good enough. Tiddalik did not laugh. So next we had the Wallaby jumping over the emu, backwards and forwards. Didn't make him laugh. We had the lizard kind of walking really strange, the monitor lizard. Then last of all, we had the eel. And I think the eel's name was Naroom. Now, what the eel did, he turned himself into these beautiful shapes, and then his tail would every now and then just flick under Tiddalik's chin, and Tiddalik started to laugh and opened his mouth, and all of the water rushed back into the lands, filling the creeks and the rivers, and all of the animals were saved.
There's no question that these water-holding frogs are a special breed. They certainly make this glass of water seem a little boring, but it's better than the alternative.